Hello and welcome to One Man's Collection. Today I'm looking at the Ferrari Collection. This is issue number 72, the 500 F2. And we'll take a look at the die-cast car in a moment. I do have two of these in my collection, the 500 F2. I'm going to show both of them and talk about what the difference is and where I got the other one from. But I'm going to look through this magazine like I normally do, just briefly, go through what actually came in this particular magazine, and then we'll have a closer look at the die-cast car and put it on the turntable. So the competition models in this particular issue is the 118LM, which we've already shown off, I think. We are getting towards the end, so this is issue 72. I think we had somewhere in the 80s, 84, 86 or something like that. Now, the single-seater was in this magazine that we have here, the 1952 500 F2. Production models is the 458 Italia, and the poster is of the same 500 F2, which I have not taken out. I do not take any of these posters out, so I've kept all of these in a neat binder holder. Six-cylinder debut, the 1955 Amelia Miglia. Ferrari entrusted its fate to the six-cylinder 188LM. Yes, we did actually look at this. It secured a 1-2 in the Tour of Sicily. Yeah, it was a risk decision because the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR dominated the Ferraris, as the Lancia D24 had in 1954. If you want to read the whole article, you'll have to pause that. But they do actually go through this particular car. Front longitudinal six-cylinder inline, just under or just over 3.7.5 litre, 280 brake horsepower, top speed of 270, 168 mile an hour. Gets going. Mixed Fortunes did come first in the Tour of Sicily. Yep. I'm going to keep it fairly brief. Here we go. The 500 F2, 1952. Now, I will talk about my die-cast cars, and I'll show them very briefly now, and then we'll have a look in more detail. So the one with the exhaust pipe that's on the side here, I say the one, the car that I have has that same exhaust pipe on it, and it is a 500 F2, but I also have another version, which is slightly different, a little wider at the front, but it is also a 500 F2. But I believe this particular one came from my Formula One car collection, not the Ferrari. So I have two different magazine collections there. The diminutive Ferrari single, I'm not sure I'm saying that right, Ferrari single-seater that dominated Formula One racing in 1952 and 53 was actually a Formula 2 car. It was powered by a 2-litre engine designed by Lampredi. I'm just going to say his last name. So it's a 4-cylinder inline, just under 2 litres, 165 to 180 brake horsepower. I like how there's a range there. They don't just lock it in. Max speed of 240 or 149 mile an hour. Supremely balanced racer. Yeah, okay. The Great Ferraris, 500 F2. To meet the requirements of the new FIA regulations in 1952 season, which allowed Formula 2 cars to compete in Formula 1, Ferrari got to work on a new model. The Prancing Horse Marquis designed an F2 car, powered by a 2-litre, normally aspirated engine. The 500 F2, the single-seater, marked the birth of a brilliant generation of 4-cylinder competitive engines. The 500 F2 owned its success in the 1952 and 53 F1 championships, both to its powerful, reliable engine and also the extraordinary weight distribution gave the car an exceptional stability in almost any surface. It's amazing with those tiny little wide, not very wide tyres or skinny tyres. Here we go. We've got there we go, the 1951 500 F2. Please do not touch. Yeah, that would make sense. Also on the other side, let's try not to knock our cars off there. Refined mechanics, cutaways, yep, nice. Right, there's a version without the exhaust pipe running down the side. It just has the pipes on the side, which is this version I've got here. It's nice to have both of these. I do like some of the older Formula ones. They are actually quite nice. So I've got both versions. So the evolution of species, the technical development of the 500 F2 during the 52-53, seen in these two profiles, views of Maranello's winning a single-seater. Example on the left is a 170 brake horsepower model driven by Ascari in 1952 season, which secured him the Belgian GP on 2nd of June 52. On the right is a 180 horsepower version, also driven by him to several victories. There you go. So it's a later model one. All right, look at all the firsts they've got here. 52. So Swiss, Belgian, French, British, German, Dutch, and Italian, all first. Ascari got most of those. Wow, and 53, they got Buenos Aires. So the Argentine, Dutch, Belgian, French, British, German, and Swiss also first. Woohoo, there's some dominating, isn't that? Near total supremacy. Yeah, that's what I was reading. Right, moving on, the V8 for the third millennium. Beautiful. 458 Italia. Very nice car. Shape-wise. I'm sure it is inside as well. Nice sleek lines on those. I do have a 118 of these. I think I might even have a couple of 118s actually. Very nice. Timeless 8-cylinder. So it's a 90-degree V8, just under 4.5 litre. 570 brake horsepower, 9,000 RPM. Oh, that'd be nice. Singing away at that high revs. Just under 1,380 just on 1,380 kilograms. And over 325 kilometers an hour, 202 mile an hour. All right, next issue, 559 GTB. Fiorano. We'll take a look at that coming up. Let's have a look at this. Ooh, try not to drop it. Plenty of detail, always are in these Ferrari collection. We've got even the dash in there. And the different instruments. It wouldn't. Okay, the steering wheel. I don't know why I tried to make it move. Of course it won't move. The wheels don't move. But that's a nice set of detail on this. Not overly massive way of making detail, but you've got all the studs and everything all painted individually around the car. Underneath, not a lot. Just that Ferrari 500 F2. And comparing that, I'm actually quite happy with it, with the next year model one. You can see the next one's wider. It may just be the they made it that way. Slightly bigger. Yeah, not too dissimilar, but we're not comparing that one. I'm going to put that on the turntable. The wire wheels are actually quite solid on this. They're not all the way through, which these ones are a little bit better. But hey, good to have best of both worlds. Put that on the turntable. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back with issue 73 next week, and we'll make our way to the end of this series. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye.